Welcome, everyone. Today we have another special celebration where Julia Balaz and I get to bring through Becca Bee Lynn as our fourth certified practitioner in Julia's newly founded Galactic Astrology Quantum Soul Guidance certification program. So congratulations, Becca. Woohoo!
Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
An honor.
So welcome. The beauty of this podcast is to, one, get to know each other and then to share from our hearts. And we have activated our heart link before this recording. And we are creating a sacred vessel for whatever in love and light would like to come forward to be shared for whoever listens in the future. Our goal primarily is to inspire, to encourage, and to show different tools for how to bring the certification program into so many different diverse communities in a beautiful and organic manner. So I'm just going to pause there and say, welcome, Julia. Welcome, Becca.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to just being able to share more about how this amazing technique has really amplified a lot of the work that I have been doing and my ability to share with others. And so I'm really looking forward to really just sharing all of this with both of you today.
Thank you so much. I was so inspired when I looked at Becca's website and YouTube channel, and oh my God, the level of high consciousness is just the next level. So I'm really, really grateful and feel honored to invite you here today and just pick your brain and pull out some of the wisdom that you're holding and carrying and embodying. Such an inspiration. And it seems like you've been doing this for several years. Really, it seems like it's your passion to share higher wisdom, higher consciousness with others and help others to empower themselves too. So can't wait to go through this interview.
And I'll just add right there that if anyone listening, what we're talking about, and Julia has just set it up so well, is this beautiful light language. I'm just calling it out as light language. It doesn't have to be something channeled. Light language can be astrology, galactic soul connections. It can be glyphs. It can be sacred geometry. And I'm just going to call out, because like Julia did, I also checked out Becca's soul-based life blog. But here's her background a little bit. She studied human design, soul astrology, QHHT, which stands for quantum hypnosis healing technique, soul sessions for awakening. And I loved that you also have studied family constellations. So to add Julia's amazing quantum soul guidance as a new certified practitioner, you have just woven with such ease this additional vocabulary to your already existing light language. So I'm just going to call that out again, soul-based life blog spot. And Julia, I'm sure will put information down. And on top of this, Becca Bee is going to be a speaker at an upcoming Mount Shasta conference with Rob Potter called Look to the Venus Conference for July 7th through 10th. I think it's almost all filled, but 2022. So we're going to be able to engage with Becca in a way that goes, all different kinds of modalities might arrive as we start learning from Becca, her journey. And maybe that's a great place to start with. Please tell us, Becca, how did this all begin? I want to know your story.
I love it, right? It's so amazing to really experience each other in our journeys through not only the cosmos, the stars, but how did we even come to remembering that again in this lifetime? Because I think one of the biggest frustrations that so many starseeds have is this feeling of there's something there that I know, but I just can't remember what it is. And part of that is just this calling of the soul, the calling of the heart that really leads us. And so it's a leap of faith. It's a leap of faith many times into doing things that don't make sense, that other people don't understand, that we might look a little different doing it. And luckily, the design that I chose in this lifetime, I didn't really mind being different. So a lot of my life path has been on this path of searching and seeking for the answers that my heart has always been pulling me towards, just these cellular memories that have been within there. And so within this path, it started in probably around 18 years old in this lifetime that I started really embracing my intuitive gifts. And one of the things that I did not resonate with in the very beginning as I learned intuitive medicine and doing those kind of sessions for people is I love for others, for each of us, honestly, that we have the access to our own resources. So I did not like the vibration where people feel they need to go to someone else for the answers. So long story short, a lot of my journey has been not only learning for myself through hypnotherapy, through even doing body work. So learning the body physiology. For the past 25 years, I've studied just about everything. I am a manifesting generator, so I've dabbled in just about everything out there. And within this path, that each thing adds a depth. And part of the depth of the wisdom of it is that how can I be the gift to share something with someone so that they have that aha within them that says, I have this ability too. I have this gift too. I can access my records and my memories too. And so that's partially what started leading me towards hypnotherapy, quantum healing hypnosis. What I love about that, the QHHT sessions not only teach people how to feel what it feels like when the higher self is kind of moving through us, but also it gives me an opportunity to go through a very in-depth process with someone to help them understand how to take themselves through that process, through future meditations, learning how to self-regress oneself, to start pulling soul memories back, pulling our different lifetime memories back and creating those ahas within our life. And within that, human design, soul astrology, and then the starseed, this was just the magic piece for me, just because there's never been a question in my mind in this lifetime that there's other lifetimes, there's other experiences, there's just so much to this beautiful divine universe that we live in. And so it's always been kind of a seeking of how do I tie in how I share this with others so that it's not just me going off on a woo-woo tangent my entire life of like, yay, this is all of this is. And so now these are the tools that really start to quantify the sacred spiritual mechanics of how we are sacred geometry within the universe, right? There's no accidents to our star chart. There's no accidents to the exact moment that we were born. And when we can learn to go deeper and understand it, it just starts to unlock. And one of the fun things I like to say is that we actually were given an owner's manual when we were born, just none of us knew how to access it or read it. And so those of us that are being drawn towards this path of sharing this wisdom with others, we're really creating an ability for future generations to not have to go as many years as we did searching for answers, that our children, our future generations can be completely supported from the moment that they come from the womb for their special gifts, their special soul path and who they are. And so that's part of the excitement that I have, is like, sure, it's awesome for us to get our memories back, but this is about longevity. This is about our divine angelic human race that we are, right? And how we are really creating a foundation for all of our future generations to really become that evolved, kind of that new earth that people speak of and stuff, that we are the ones that are really creating it. And so I also love to give honor to the generations that have come before us that really had to trudge the path for us to have the ability to speak so freely as we do today. And so with the galactic astrology and looking at all of the star placements, this is something that really resonated with my heart. I was like seeking, I'm like, there's something out there. I know the answer is out there. And it's like my soul just led me right to Julia. And I was like, oh, I love you. Thank you so much for helping me understand it in a way that it just really clicked for me. And it was just that little piece I needed to tie all the different chart readings that I do together.
Wow, thank you so much for that message, especially about the future generations and how this is our place and this is the choice and the path of significance. I felt that message coming silently for a while now, but it just landed now so powerfully. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone else will resonate. Absolutely. This is so much bigger than us right now. Wow. Ursula.
Oh my God. Okay, so Becca Bee, you are on fire. You are just bringing it. Thank you. And I remember that you have a speaking to the fire circle. And now I understand why. Because this is about not sitting back. It's not feeling. This is about let's embody, let's get going. And now I understand why you are a speaker at the Mount Shasta conference. Yes, it's time to bring our full A game, all these modalities, everything we've studied. It's time now, because people are entering into the pool and they don't have to wait the 10 years to study. We're all kind of floating to the top quickly, but we need the guidance, such as the wisdom teaching of Julia, as a spark to say, hey, she's not saying, follow me. She's just saying, let me help ignite the light that's already in you. And that's what I felt coming from Becca Bee. In fact, Julia, do you want to share that story about the bee? Because it's how synchronicities show up to go, pay attention.
Because it's a beautiful sunny day, which is rare in Ireland, and this most unusual bee, I've never seen this breed, this type of bee before. It was super adorable. It felt like this is some special bee, and I just let her be there, and I actually was guided to sing to her very, gracefully and quietly, not to scare her off, but it was something magical about that bee. And I didn't connect the dots until now, and I just cannot get it out of my head. Yeah, the synchronicities of, Becca Bee. She's using the bee symbology a lot, and we just talked about it for a little bit. Perhaps you can share a little about what archetypal energies bee as a spirit animal is connected to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that I've just recently learned so much more about it. There's definitely the symbology that I've embraced with Becca Bee. It's been just a nickname of mine for a long time, and so I really embraced the bee. And the initial kind of way that I took it, it's that it's about being, be present, be you, instead of doing. And that was one of the energies that I took with it. But as I've really kind of opened more into the symbology and knowing it has such a deep connection to Venus, the Venusians, the bee sentient beings that are on Venus that have actually guided a lot of other kind of cultures into how to create a sustainable society that honors each being. And so as I've really delved into that, and I want to give some honor to Raymond Keller, Cosmic Ray. He's actually one of the beautiful speakers at the Mount Shasta event. he's a being, if you ever get a chance to connect with him, it's like your heart will melt with love. He's amazing, just a Venusian contactee. And as I learned more about the bee kind of philosophy, if you will, and how the Venusians have kind of embraced that as a harmonious way of coexisting within each other, it started to really remind me of the human design system, the human design charts, and how, you know, it's not like you're put in a place and told what to do, like you're the worker bee and then you'll be the queen bee and then you do this. It's more like in human design, there it represents 5 types, but our soul chooses them as the best vehicle or the best energy or aura field for us to embrace in order to fulfill what we want to fulfill in this lifetime. So it's not about us getting put into a particular position or, oh, this is how I'm stuck being or who I am, but more it's looking at it from a cosmic level that we have chosen this, and that when we can start to just be comfortable being who we are, that we all don't have to be the same person. We don't all have to like walk the same path and just do it in life, you know, that some of us are meant to just allow life to bring opportunities to us. And then therefore we get to choose what we want to do. And as we embrace that, that's just kind of the beauty of the bee symbology that I've really enjoyed. It's let's just be who we came here to be in this lifetime. And when we can just settle into this is who I chose to be in this life and allow all our gifts and capabilities to go, it's as if all this pressure can fall away of having to be like someone else, having to try to change things in a particular way. And then we allow all of our natural mechanics within ourselves to help propel us towards who we came here to be. So that's kind of the joy of that, if that makes any sense.
I love that. Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
It's so wonderful. My 2 little cents would be this: if you ever looked at the structure of the bee shape itself, if you look at from a scientific view, that bee should not be able to fly because it's too large for the little wings. However, science is showing us that it's through the resonant buzzing bee, through sound, that it lifts off. And so when you call out Becca Bee, it's the 5-pointed star of Venus. It's the goddess energy. It is just bee. And I gotta just say, when I visited your website, if you don't mind, I read something that I wanted to share with everyone. And here's something you've written, Becca. It's, quote, "Curiosity is the compass that can lead us towards our greatest discoveries. The map we travel is our own. It is time to remember who we really are and live a soul-based life." And so, I have a little more nectar this morning.
For sharing that.
Okay, so now we want to know, Becca, which fixed star or which star nation really calls out to you, dear goddess?
This is such a beautiful thing. You know, I'll just to give a simple answer, I'm going to say Lyra. This is probably one of the predominant memories that I held in my cellular memories that really held such a deep wound for me that it helped me go so much deeper into remembering our galactic history and the many timelines. So there's a deep, deep memory within me. If I may share that one of my memories of Lyra initially started coming to me as I was looking out of a spaceship window. And I remember just having the absolute just devastation within myself of sensing, looking down at the planet, at the destruction, at just the horrific destruction that had happened to the planet. And there, as I was able to perceive the other areas as I've gone into this, is multiple ships leaving, many beings having to leave to go find new homes, new places. And this was long before I knew a lot about the different galactic wars and the different energies that have taken place, especially in the Lyra constellation, and how we're all seeded from there and traveled to different places. And so as these memories came through, this really showed a deep, deep wound that I feel so many starseeds on this planet are even holding. It's not just a wound I hold, it's many of us hold this, of that pain of losing something so dear, something so beautiful, feeling dislocated. And at the same time, I feel as though there are so many starseeds that are here because there has been a sense of, I feel responsible. It was all my fault. If I would have done something different, if I would have blah, 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 then maybe that thing wouldn't have happened. And it's one of those deep wounds that I feel so many beings have been traveling through the cosmos with, that we get to come back to kind of a galactic understanding of it, so that there is a healing on this level, so that that miasma isn't a resonant signature in our cellular memories anymore. And we can break free from it so that we can be that new healing path that we really want to recreate within this reality. So Lyra has been a very deep connection for me. The Arcturians, I have connections with the Arcturians. They are some of my greatest guides and teachers that teach me the mechanics. They're very humorous. They're very fun. They think I ask silly questions sometimes. But at the same time, it's like the expansion of knowledge that I receive from that is on such a quantum level. And there's so many tie-ins. One thing that I would love to share with others is to know that through our starseed journey, we could almost look at it like a fractalization of our sacred geometry, and that there are so many different soul experiences that we've had. And so there's aspects to each of them that resonate within us in this lifetime. And one of the things that the Arcturians really wanted to share with me at one point, because I was asking them, why is it sometimes I really want to focus on this, and this is the path I feel drawn, and then sometimes I really feel like, oh my gosh, this is the energy. And the way they kind of described it was that there's different aspects of the fractal of our soul experience that gets to co-inhabit with us within this very lifetime here. And so that each one kind of has a different energy that it's working with, and it will activate at different times for us. And so there will be some moments where it might be more the Arcturian energy, or it might be more the Mantis energy, or it might be more the Lyran energy, or the Syrian energy coming through. And it just was this, okay, this breath of not feeling as though there was a need to go like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Is it this star nation? Is it this star nation? Is it this star nation? It's all. And so for the beauty of getting to share these chart readings is letting each individual know there are multiple kind of facets of self that they're getting to co-experience in this lifetime, and that each of them has gifts, each of them has different aspects that we can pull on. And that's just kind of the fun of the journey, is then how do you tie all of that together, how it's playing out in this lifetime. So those are the main, the ones I just mentioned. The Mantis beings have been working with me a very long time. The Christed Mantis being, she comes through as a very golden, beautiful being, and she will step in every once in a while and share this most loving energy. The Arcturians, the Lyrans, and then the Syrian energy coming through. So
thank you so much. If you allow me, Ursula, I'll step in. I do want to share, when you were talking about the Lyran original trauma of the mass exodus, I always feel such a strong connection with the Old Testament and the mass exodus that occurred in Egypt, and seeing this huge amount of people that were expelled from their homeland and had to find new home. I feel a strong connection to that. And then to other people who traveled because of war, refugees of war. It feels like all these stories are just an echo of this original trauma, and that truly in this life we are called to reclaim our divine birthright, to feel safe in this universe, to not continue manifesting that same cycle. And so I'm so glad you brought it up and gave me the opportunity to speak this, that it's now time to feel safe again and understand it all from higher perspective. I mean, the story of our hundreds of lives and creation in so many different planets and star systems, perhaps it was all worth it. You know, look where we are now and the greater connectivity of the entire cosmos, really integrating cosmic mind and so many different perspectives. Perhaps it was all worth it. So now we can release the pain of it all and just embrace everything else we gained as a result.
That's so beautiful. I deeply, deeply resonate with that. And that's kind of my primary passion that even got me on a lot of this path is it just didn't feel right to have to keep holding on to limiting beliefs, pain from the past, things that felt as though they were from another time, you know, even childhood pain, if we want to look at it that way, you know, that seeing people suffer from something that happened maybe in their early childhood or even in another life, and yet how it's limiting who they can be in this very now moment. And it's just been this deep resonance of, I guess you could say my soul's calling or my soul's path is to get to an understanding of how that's locked in there within our bioregenesis form and within just all of our different energetic bodies. But more importantly, how do we unlock it? How do we set it free so that we can allow the light to begin to really regenerate through our cells again? So our form can hold more light. We can truly be the angelic human race that we are designed to be within this lifetime, which is that we can do that within a moment if we chose to, but it's truly our mind. And I think this is another part that many of us understand on a very deep level is a lot of the hypnotic mind control and the programming and the way that the viral infection is really targeted at the way we think, the mind, the processes, and the limbic system even. And as you look at it like that, then it's how do we dehypnotize ourselves from some of these, you know, let's just say the negative Orion Empire and the Seeker empires from the past that have implemented a lot of these into as tools to overtake species, because the best way is not have to fight them, right? Instead, why don't you just hypnotize them so that they surrender and hand over everything and become your servient beings, right? And so now as we dehypnotize ourselves and we clear that viral mind programming out of ourselves, we start to shake ourselves and go, wait, I am a sovereign being. I have the right to have an amazing life. I have the right to be happy. I have the right to create magic in my reality. And the thing of it is that it's not something that just falls in your lap. If you want to create an amazing life, like Julia, the amazing thing that you've created for all of these beings, it didn't just fall in your lap, right? It's like you took the chance, you followed, you took that leap of faith, that each of us here have taken that leap of faith, and you've put in all of the time, the energy and the effort. And now I just want to celebrate what a community that you have brought together by you following your heart and your soul into saying, man, this is exactly what we need at this time in Earth. And so I just really actually kind of want to just say thank you so much, because it's such an honor to be able to continue this on.
Thank you so much for seeing me in that path, in that process. Yes, it took a year and a half of that daily dedication and drive. And oftentimes the body felt like, no, I just want to hang with the family and watch a movie and put my feet up. But like, no, this is urgent. It needs to be done. There was many evenings like that when I had to fight that other part that would just want to do nothing, but it was so worth it. And I felt the worthiness of it coming as a result. So that was the drive. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. If there's one thing I do want to say that stands out to me is just the energy I feel in the course and how you present the material. It is so incredibly well organized and detailed. There's moments I read through it and I'm like, oh my gosh, you must have spent so much time on this. And I'm just like, that's the stuff where I'm like, I'm so grateful that I could tell, spent hours on stuff, because now it just makes it seamless. I can feel the energy of it flow so easily. And so I just want to commend that gift, and to also just know that each person now that is connecting to it, that they're going to add their flavor to it. I see that with all the other practitioners that are stepping and doing their readings in their own ways. And now as it progresses out, look at that ripple effect that we're having. And that is how we create magic in this reality. That is how we create the life that other people are going like, oh, well, it must just be because you're special or that's you. It's like, no, if you want a magical, amazing life, make it. Create it, be it. So you are such a great example of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Wow, I got to tell you, the fire circle, they were just putting more logs in, and it's so amazing. I want to go back real quick when Becca was talking about insect beings or the dark side of Orion, or Arcturian, Lyran. For anyone listening who might have a recoil and like, oh, this might be too much for me, this is maybe, a little too dark or scary, just know the way that Becca, you delivered it was this idea that it's an embrace of energy. And there are stories attached to the energy. But if you look at energy as positive and negative, creating a sine wave, we need a little bit of the challenge to help us grow our light. So it's just like the seed trying to move through the earth. It needs to push off so it can grow and come to this new place. But what you talk about, Becca, is quantum as well. So it's like getting off the linear timeline. So if anyone wants to, like, what is she talking about? Julia's called out quantum soul guidance. These three words, quantum soul guidance, it's an embrace of, Becca, what you said. It's not singular. Oh, what star nation are you from? It is holographic. It is all happening at once. So it's a celebration more of the prismatic, true essence of our higher selves. But it's happening all at once. And so I love what you said, Becca. Embrace that insectoid life. I mean, those are the founders. Embrace, okay, I've been on Draco in Tubin. Okay, embrace those lessons. And how are you going to bring it forward to help another soul or to help guide yourself? So quantum soul guidance. Julia, amazing download. And I also want to commend you for your devotion. This is a gift of devotion. And I think, Becca, what you were saying, it's so comprehensive. There's so much material. It's the fact you can almost get lost in the data. So everyone take a deep breath, inhale, exhale. You're just where you're at. There's no way that you can, as a language, ever get it fully. You just have to start practicing. And as I say practicing, I'm going to move now to Becca's landing page, her soul-based life blogspot.com, where I checked you out, Becca, talking about a reading already, and it feels like this is so natural, like this is your other hand that's been given to you. You're actually giving a reading to someone who had huge galactic center connections. And I was like, oh, let's hear what Becca has to say about galactic center, and look how many connections they had. So I'm going to pause there, because one of the questions was, and how have you enjoyed bringing this in and using it in your current, all the other current offerings that you have?
Oh, absolutely. It's incredible. It's about embracing the stories again and filling in the pieces that each of us has different kind of fractals of memories, if you will, of all of the galactic history and all of the places we've been. And as we all start to kind of pull them together and share them, we do get that holographic kind of Akashic records reinstated back again for us to tap into. And you can almost feel it on a planetary level. There's almost like there's a great, a deeper understanding that a lot of people have as far as what happened in Lyra now, and how many of the different races migrated to different planetary systems, and the things that happened in Orion and things like that. So that you can almost feel it, that there's a lot more people that are going like, oh yeah, it's amazing. It kind of blows my mind. Just kind of, since I've been on this path for so long, where I have lived many years where I've had to watch how I verbalize things, because it's just not something that could be received quite yet. And now it feels like I don't have to hold back how I say anything. People are just so there. The memories, the cells are awakening again to receive it. And so I've been impassioned. I really like to utilize the QHHT as an ability for people to tap into their own inner abilities and get their own memories. And the kind of hand in hand with that is the chart readings. And I have done the human design chart readings for quite a few years now, alongside with what I've just deemed soul astrology, because I like to look at the karmic placements and the energy someone might be holding in there. And so now, as I've added the galactic aspect to it, my favorite thing with the full chart reading, I like to do all three in one reading for those that choose. And it's to start with our starseed memories. And we start from all of the galactic reading. And then I like to start to bring it down, 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 and then anchor it in with the human design chart reading of going like, okay, well, now we know all of that. So it makes more sense why you chose the body type that you chose this lifetime. And now let's talk about how it really works. What's the functionality of it? And what I love about human design is it's about how to be you. How to utilize your aura, your energy field, and make the yes and no decisions in life that are right for you, so that there is no question, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? Your soul has an open kind of telephone line to you that's saying, this is it. This is the way we're going. Let's keep going. Yeah, I know it feels scary. Let's expand ourselves in a new direction. But it's just that whole level of just bringing in the light, and within that, I do absolutely love the gene keys. It goes hand in hand with the human design system. So I really integrate that in there with it, because it shows the variances, the frequencies of every single gate within us that these shadows might be, these places where we might be are not self. And that when we look at it on a quantum level, if you will, or that we are spiritual beings. We're not just fleshy beings. We actually have spirit infused in the material, which means that our cells have resonance and frequencies. And when we clear out the pain and the trauma and the blocks from the past, it has an actual effect on our amino acids, the hormones, and how our hormones communicate in our body, and therefore our mood, who we are, how we feel about living life. So we change on a genetic level as we heal things that feel as though they're emotional or just mental. It's making physical changes within our absolute body and how we live our life. And this is what I love about it. So it's taking all the way from the stars, our soul's passion and our journey, and where we may be still holding things. And then more importantly, now what do we do with it? How do we anchor it into this life so that we can just kind of take off running and be the gift that we've come here to be for others? So that's what I like to do.
I love the complexity of your perspective. That's how I think, and I can sense the Antarian beings through you and the Actuarians. It's so amazing, such a gift that you are in service to others. Becca, there was one thing on your website that stood out that I would love to highlight for other practitioners as well, and that is the mention of the follow-up session and the importance of the follow-up session, because as you can hear, there is such a complexity, and sometimes when this is delivered, it spans, you know, you will digest it for over a year sometimes, working with the sessions, and it's wonderful that they are recorded so everyone can go through their sessions several times, digesting it little by little. But do you want to maybe talk a little bit about the importance of a follow-up session, or when are they needed? When would you recommend people considering follow-up session with practitioners like this?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I recommend is if someone is guided in their solar return, so around your birthday, it's a beautiful time to kind of look at the new energy that's coming in for the next cycle, because that's your new year. There's different transitional times like the Uranus opposition, Saturn returns, specific times like that. There's also progressed moons that really affect, they go in about 2.5-year cycles. So those are if someone's really kind of getting into reading their chart and getting into the details of it and knowing when these transits are happening. I like to kind of give the metaphor that the stars and the planetary cycles and their influences on us are kind of like us swimming out in the ocean, and the ocean is always changing. And a lot of times we forget we're in the ocean, and so we're trying to fight against the currents. But if you know what the ocean is doing and you know kind of how to move through it so that it's easy, then it becomes a graceful tool that goes like, oh, okay, well, this energy is coming, so watch me swing through the jetty this way, and watch it, let me just kind of move through this with ease and grace, because life doesn't need to be difficult. But the main way that I love to kind of do follow-up sessions with people is I do soul coaching. So what this is utilizing the charts. We will take the stuff that's coming up and then specifically work with the different blocks, the different limiting beliefs, the different things coming up. And this is a free offering for anybody that might be guided, is that I have on my YouTube channel. It's called The Clearing Statement. I did not come up with a fancy title for it. It's just The Clearing Statement. It's something the guides have been working with me for years. And it's a very simple organic process that becomes a way of life. It's a way of looking at things, learning how to go in, just immediately begin to clear them out so that we can rewrite our life the way that we want it to be. So that's one of the primary ways that I work with people through follow-up sessions and working with different transits and things like that. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll include all the links in the description of this video, and I highly recommend everyone to look at Becca's YouTube channel as well. It's called Soul Based Life, right?
Yes.
And there's just so many videos, you'll totally go on a journey of consciousness expansion and a lot of helpful tools as well. So thank you.
Wow. Well, as we're heading almost to a close, Becca, is there something you'd like to share with our classmates who are probably going to listen? Like, say you're starting the course as a practitioner. Is there anything that you'd like to share from your journey now that we're celebrating your certification? But that would really help someone who might be
so many
midstream
newbies
or beginning.
My suggestion would be to have fun with it. There's so much information. Pick the stuff that stands out for you. Play with it. Play with it through your chart. Play with it through the charts that you might be doing with others, and let it be just a journey. And also, wherever it almost feels overwhelming sometimes, I would just say take a breath, that this isn't a path that we're going to learn overnight. I love the kind of the astrologer's joke that when you ask an astrologer how long they've been studying astrology, they say, oh, how many lifetimes would you like me to tell you about? This is really about opening your heart and letting it speak. Ursula, I like the way you say it's light language, because it doesn't speak to the mind so much. There's a lot of mental candy to it, but it's more about what is your heart being pulled towards. And that level of trust is going to allow you to speak exactly what your client needs to hear, exactly what you need. And so just kind of in conclusion, like when I do a reading, because there's so much information in a chart, I connect with their guide coming forward to assist me. And I ask, what is the most important information for me to focus on that they need to know right now, that they need to hear? And then it's a free fall of trust. And there are so many times I'm like, I can't say that, oh my gosh. But it's just like, they're like, no, this is something that's really important. Bring this information forward. And those are usually the moments where the other person is going like, oh my gosh, I feel as though no one's ever seen that or heard that or recognized that in me before. So I would say this is a beautiful way to follow the heart, to really just allow yourself to start trusting how you're being led through it, and then have fun. Just have fun allowing yourself to get the mind and the ego out of the way and just say, can I be a vessel so that whatever I speak is exactly what they need to hear? And then have fun.
Major. Thank you. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this opportunity of getting to connect with you and with everyone.
We stay connected. Much love, everyone.
Thank you. And you've given us such a gift. Congratulations, Becca. I mean, for Julia, as the founder of this practitioner's course that just arrived in February 2022, and Becca, for you to seamlessly dovetail and now work it with this triage of sorts, you know, from the stars into our system, into our body. It just is like, yes, what a gift you've given me too. So I feel like, savor and have fun. Okay, Miss Becca Bee, we're going to be keeping in touch. Thank you and gratitude for the queen bee that came to join us as well.
Much love.
You guys, much love.
Bye.